Doesn't matter if there's plenty of content already, we've gotta be updated on the latest shows and movies Marvel plans on putting out. This very well applies to Armor Wars, the War Machine spin-off which was promised earlier this year. Put some respect on our man, y'all. Plus, who wouldn't want to see more of Don Cheadle? In this video, we'll be telling you about his update on the upcoming series. Let's get into it. First off, let's talk about the tweet. Cheadle's the man on Twitter. He's always retweeting and answering fans, so when a user asked him about an update on Armor Wars, he left a pretty cryptic message. Yep, he was born to play Rhodey. He quote retweeted, saying, "Funny you should ask," which sent everyone into a frenzy in the replies. Emojis, gifs, reactions like, "What do you mean?" and so forth. We're all tuned in and listening to if he has more to say, but it's pretty on brand for him to drop this tiny hint and then run. He didn't offer any more details, sure, but according to what he said before, the show's production is scheduled for this fall. For him to say this now, he's hopefully working on set as we speak. Maybe he even tweeted that while he was taking a break between takes? He's a wild card for sure. Granted, this time of the year is busier than ever for Marvel. They announced the fourth phase at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, so they're definitely booked and busy. A lot of fans seem to be divided over Cheadle's little update. To some, it looks like a confirmation. To others, it reads as a soft no. To be fair, it doesn't seem likely that Marvel will halt production on this. They might delay it for certain reasons, but canceling it is way out of the question. People were concerned about the higher-ups discontinuing the project. Not gonna lie, this is mostly because, at the Hall H extravaganza, they announced all their upcoming projects in the franchise for 2022 and 2023. Armor Wars was absent. So what we know about the writer's room. There's a lot of good reasons why the show will definitely go on, other than the fact that Rhodey's character arc after Endgame is yet to be explored. Come on, you can't overlook that one. We've gotten to know almost every superhero and villain story post-Endgame. Leaving out Tony Stark's right-hand man is not on anyone's bucket list. Cheadle revealed some deets in an interview at Ace Comic-Con, and he talked about the writing of the show. Yasir Lester is gonna head the writer's room, and he's a firecracker. A stand-up comedian, writer, actor, the entire package. The guy played a hilarious role in Black Monday, and has written for shows like The Carmichael Show and Girls. On top of an impressive resume, he's pretty good friends with Don himself. That's right, folks. He talked about Lester with so much rapture and glee that it felt like the two have been friends forever. He said he's very excited to work with him, and they've gotten really close to each other. He did say that Armor Wars is more of a work in progress, though. He described it as being in clay mode, which makes sense. A lot of work goes into TV, let's be real. Plus, it's really on brand for Rhodey's show to be written by a comedian. Hopefully, we'll get to see his jokes land. Poor guy just wants someone to acknowledge his humor. And now about Rhodey himself. He's been in a lot of movies, almost each one, but we never really get to see his character fleshed out. The funny sidekick, the guy who always comes in handy, the witty one-liners. Those are all amazing, and we wouldn't trade them for the world, but it does get you thinking, what's he like on his own? Of course, fans of the comics already know how Armor Wars goes down. There's a lot of focus on Stark in them, and it's a pretty intense storyline. Just to keep it spoiler-free, we'll say that the mantle of Iron Man depended on these comics. Since the lore is so deep and interconnected, there are plenty of ways you can adapt stories like this for television. The approach Marvel's taking for this one is definitely Rhodey-centric. Cheadle himself has spoken about it with AP Entertainment. As an actor, you always want to dig deep into your role and find out the hows, whys, and whens. More importantly, you want to be able to explore it on screen. Aside from saying that everything's in the beginning stage, he talked about James Rhodes himself. He's very keen on figuring out how to play him, his desires, his aspirations, how he changed post-apocalypse. It's a very hands-on approach for him, and judging by the tweet, he might just be in the thick of it. He said it himself that you don't see much of Rhodes in the movie. Buckle up because that's about to change. We don't know when exactly, but we know for a fact that it is. And also, some predictions for the show. Yes, it's missing from the fourth phase of the MCU so far, but hey, that's no biggie. There's also a fifth and sixth one, just so you know. The studio's actually dropped a few hints about them as well. According to The Direct, there's definitely room for Armor Wars to fit into Phase 6. For starters, the slate's pretty empty aside from Fantastic Four, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars. There's a cozy little spot for Rhodey's name on it. Plus, a Disney Plus Day is scheduled to happen soon, in a few weeks actually. It's the perfect time to drop some more news, to be honest. It all ties in perfectly. A mysterious tweet from Dawn seems like the perfect precursor to an announcement of a release date. Oh well, fingers crossed that we get more info. And now, some other MCU news you might have missed out on. First off, Jamila Jamil teases another MCU role. If you enjoyed seeing her in She-Hulk, you're in for some good news. Jamila Jamil revealed a few teasers at potential roles in Deadpool and Thunderbolts, and she does it in a really sneaky way. Speaking to Comic Book, she was asked what character Titiana would love to annoy the most. To that, she replied that she'd love to drive Deadpool crazy at some point. We're right with you, girl. She also gushed about her love for Ryan Reynolds. She's just like us, y'all. If that wasn't good enough, she goes on to say that Titiana can fit anywhere in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She mentioned the Thunderbolts too. Her character is the type to have beef with literally anyone. Spider-Man, Thor, you name it. She even said that she's very similar to her in real life. Pretty spot on, not gonna lie. And in true Jamila fashion, she replied to the report on Twitter, clarifying clarifying her intentions. She said that she would like to play more roles, but hasn't gotten any yes or no from the higher-ups. In her words, "Don't get her into trouble with the Feige." All that being said, Tatiana does appear in Thunderbolts and crosses over with Deadpool in the comics, so it's definitely canon. Guess we'll just have to wait to see what the Feige says. Next up, the new Fantastic Four series. They're bringing childhood nostalgia back, fresh and hot, and it's sooner than you think. The reboot's happening, that's for sure, but this other thing will get the comic fans really excited. You heard us, folks. There's going to be a new series, and it's coming this year in November. Yes, the reboot is scheduled for 2024, the 6th phase. Seems like they've been planning this for years because we're getting some amazing amounts of content here. What's even better is that there's a whole new design based on the upcoming production itself. You've got Ryan North from The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl as a writer for one. Alongside him is Venom artist Iban Coelho, while the covers are designed by Alex Ross. It's pretty exciting to see these three styles merge together, not to mention all the amazing side stories and character arc. The first issue will feature The Thing and his wife going around America to escape trouble in New York, and they find themselves caught in a time loop, that too in a tiny motel. It's gonna be jam-packed with tension and humor, and we can't wait to read it. The aim is to tell smaller stories about the four, and it can't get any better than that, y'all. And lastly, Owen Wilson scolded by Marvel. Though we all laugh at how Tom Holland accidentally reveals spoilers, this type of stuff isn't a joke at Marvel. Mobius from Loki, played by Wilson, learned his lesson soon enough about this, and he talks about it in an interview with Comic Book. There's been a few instances where the people in charge have told him to keep a lid on details of Season 2 of Loki. It's in production as of now, and he caught himself before he revealed things he wasn't supposed to. He comments on this by saying he gets self-conscious because the guys over at Marvel are so uptight. Ariel Schulman even asked him if he's been told off by them for saying too much. He replied immediately that yes, it's happened way more than once. He hasn't become a household name like Holland or Ruffalo in this aspect, and it doesn't seem like he's planning on it. Well, that's it for this video. What are your thoughts on Cheadle's cheeky teaser for Armor Wars? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.